Just today, an NBC anchor was set to announce that inflation was super bad, that Donald Trump had ruined everything. And in real time in the video, he had to admit that inflation is actually down for the month. Great news for Trump and obviously everyone. Take a look.
PPI, wholesale inflation for August, expected to be up 0.3. No. Down 0.1%. Down 0.1. Wow. That would be the first negative number since April of this year when it was minus 0.2. If you strip out food and energy, we're also expecting up 0.3. It's minus 0.1 as well. Minus 0.1, the same. Last time we had a minus number was April, and we're comping to minus 0.2 in April. And I do want to point out, last month we had up 0.9 on both those variables. They were the highest going back to March of 22. They just were revised slightly lower to 0.7, so 0.7% for each of those in the rearview mirror for July. Now let's look at ex-food, energy, and trade. Finally, as expected, up 0.3, which follows up 0.6 unrevised at this point. Up 0.3 would actually be the smallest, going back to 0 in June of this year. Now the year over year, in my opinion, these are the most important. And boy, I'm surprised. Real progress here. 2.6 on year over year headline. We are expecting 3.3 in the rearview mirror, 3.3. 2.6 will be the lowest since it was 2.4 in June, and it underscores whether it was tariff driven or not. Those little blips seem to be moving back into the sunset. Year over year ex-food energy, 2.8%. That's core 2.8, expecting 3.5. In the rearview mirror, a whopping 3.7.
So we were expecting 3.3% inflation and got 2.6 instead. And by the way, I've said many times, we want to get to 2%. 2.6 is not good enough, but it is much better than 3.3%, which again was the what economists were projecting. Gas and overall consumer good expected to rise again with that inflation, and they actually went down. Really good news. This is huge for Trump, huge for his economy, and it could have big implications for 2026. The big problem that Trump has right now is actually not the economy itself, but how people are perceiving the economy. This is a poll that just came out on how people see inflation. This is from Signal, and you can see right here, it's just, the question's very simple. Do you think inflation is better or worse? Back in December of 2024, when we knew Trump was going to be in office, it was right before he was in, 45% said better, and that was, again, 4.3% up from the last time they'd done the poll. 41 said worse, so kind of even. Now that Donald Trump has been in for 7-8 months, that number has actually plummeted to 23.4%. He's lost 30%. So again, 23%, if you're just listening, said better. Now 54% say worse, a net 35-point negative swing. Why? After that video that we just watched, because those numbers are very scary for Trump. That is not good. Republicans cannot win elections with those numbers, period. The economy is king. I know a lot of Republicans are very happy about what Trump has done with immigration, with DEI, ending wokeness, crime. All of that's true, and it's fantastic. But if he sucks on the economy, or even if he doesn't suck on the economy, or if just the perception is that he sucks on the economy, they won't vote for him. There's no way 2026 will go towards Republicans. There's no way 2028 will go towards J.D. Vance, presumably. Personally, I think those numbers are likely the reason for this disparity. The reason why it's so different than actual inflation is because of beef, eggs, and coffee. Those are kind of the big things that have gone up. If you look at the numbers, all three of those have the largest increases of anything, about 50% on average. Beef has gone up 56% in some cases. Eggs has gone up like 52%. All three of those things, what they have in common is that they're common household staples. So overall, groceries, gas, they might be cheaper. You might go to the gas station and have a cheaper bill. Even if you go to the grocery store overall and have a cheaper bill, that might be true. But people remember that their beef or eggs was 50% more. That's what goes in their head. They don't forget, they forget about the things that just stayed the same or even went down just slightly. But when they see that beef, was once $4 for a pound of beef and now it's $6, they notice that. They do. I've noticed that. And you don't notice the other things going down by 5 cents. And this is manifesting itself in special elections right now. By the way, this isn't just abstract, like maybe this will happen in 2026, maybe it won't. It's happening right now. If you look at the trends in how special elections go, it does not look good for Republicans. They need to pivot on how the economy is being perceived. You can see the overperformance in special elections. What that means, by the way, is how districts swing based on the former election. So back in 2016, for example, a certain district went for Trump for a certain amount, and then there's a swing. And what you saw is that there was a plus 6% swing for Democrats. Not big. Same was true from 2019 to 2020, based on the 2018 election. There was a 2-point swing, 4-point swing in 2021, 2-point swing. So it tends to stay low. And that's nothing to be concerned about. That makes sense because that's going to change based on turnout, which obviously changes a lot depending on if it's a special election or like a presidential election. But what's scary is the special elections that are happening right now. Because again, Trump did famously well in 2024. Right now, because of special elections, we can see Democrats are plus 13 on average in all districts. So it doesn't necessarily mean they're winning all the elections, but it's either they're winning by a lot more or it's getting a lot closer. And that's scary looking forward to 2026. Most of that is being driven by the economic feeling right now. Not necessarily the data, because the data looks pretty good, but the feeling. And whether or not the economy is good or bad is really irrelevant to all of this. The Trump admin has to show the American people that it is good, or the Republicans, that the economy is good rather, or Republicans are not going to win at all, even with a decent economy. The progressive left is a cult, and I talk all about it in my book, A New Cult. I talk about what's happening with BLM, what happens with some nutso stories that I frankly just can't talk about because big tech will censor me, but it's in the book. Go check it out. The link is in the description below. Thank you so much for watching this video, everybody. Please like the video so other great patriots like yourselves will see it. And you can tune in every single weekday at 6 p.m. Eastern for the live show, or you can watch another video right here.